Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. I see a lot of people out there. I'm rolling around the internet. I see people that are ready to write off the 2025 season. I see a lot of people that are saying Josh Heupel and this coaching staff are lazy. They weren't prepared. They weren't ready. They didn't do their due diligence. Why would they say that? They're calling it a complete transfer portal disaster. We're talking about the spring window. Why are they saying that? Well, we're going to talk about a couple of guys here, starting at the wide receiver position, right? We know going into this spring cycle, we knew that we needed to add a wide receiver to that wide receiver room. We needed a body. Now, we had misses there. We had Nikar, a guy that chose to stay at Miami. Is that the coaching staff being lazy? Is that the coaching staff not doing their due diligence? Or is that a guy that just ultimately chose to stay at Miami? We talked a little bit about Trayshawn Hurry, a guy that committed to Louisville before he ever made it to Rocky Top. He was supposed to be taking a visit to Tennessee, but ultimately he stayed at Louisville. Is that the coaching staff being lazy? I had a couple of priorities. One of those was Keelin Marion, BYU wide receiver, 6 foot, 195 pounds. In 2 seasons there at BYU, had 44 catches, 562 yards, and a touchdown. But he was pretty special on special teams, 472 kick return yards, also had 2 touchdowns. Well, we can go to Twitter. Hayes Fawcett puts out the graphic. Breaking BYU All-American wide receiver kick returner Keelin Marion has committed to Miami. In his career, he's totaled 76 catches for over 1,100 yards and 12 total touchdowns. So that one's off the board. That was a guy that was a priority for me. That was a guy that I thought could have come in and been pretty special in this offense. That's another miss at the wide receiver position. Well, I talked about another guy that I was interested in. That was Ted Hurst at Georgia State. Some of the experts, some of the insiders claim that he's an NFL prospect, claim that he could start at any Power 4 school. Georgia State wide receiver Ted Hurst is expected to stay at Georgia State instead of transferring. Huge win for Georgia State. Hurst is a legit NFL prospect who had been ranked as the top player in the transfer portal. Just talked about him, I think it was on Friday. Again, if we didn't get Keelin Marion, sign me up for Ted Hurst. So what happened here? What went wrong with Keelin Marion going to Miami? What went wrong with Ted Hurst staying at Georgia State? I thought Brent Hubbs had an interesting comment on the General's Quarter, said maybe he wasn't interested in Tennessee. I don't know. Maybe he's asking for a lot of money. Maybe he didn't feel like Tennessee was a great fit for him. Now, what do we do as fans? Fan is short for fanatic, and I get it. We emotionally react. That's what we do on this channel. It's all about reacting. We get emotional. We celebrate the highs. We're ready to burn it to the ground with the lows. It's easy to say, drop the bag. It's easy to say, well, I guess the collective doesn't have money. Sometimes there's more layers to it. Sometimes it's a little bit more complex than as simple as, well, just pay the man. Pay the man, because Joe Blow on the internet is going to be upset if we don't land Keelin Marion. Joe Blow in the comment section of Talkin VAWLS is going to throw a hissy fit if we don't get Ted Hurst. So just pay him. I don't care what happens. I thought Austin Price had an interesting point that followed that up, said the facts are all the guys that Tennessee is looking at for safety, for linebacker, for wide receiver, or defensive line are not starter types, but they want silly money for players who are going to be backups. That's the rub. He goes on to say, does it make sense to pay your backups from a spring window more than your starters? So there's several layers to that there. It's the spring window. We talked about this going into it. We tried to prepare ourselves going into the spring portal window. There's usually not a lot of big-time names, a lot of big-time players. So what happens with Keelin Marion, a guy that has 562 receiving yards in 2 seasons? Is that groundbreaking numbers? Is that game-changing numbers? Now, could he have fit in this offense? Yes, I wanted him to fit in this offense. I thought he was one of the best available. But you got to look at both sides of this. Again, it's complex. There's layers to it. What if he wants more money than Braylon Staley? What if he wants more money than Chris Brazzell? What if he wants more money than Mike Matthews? Do you still just pay him? Do you still just drop the bag just so Joe Blow on the internet doesn't throw a hissy fit? Do you break up the chemistry of that wide receiver room? Do you pay him more than Mike Matthews, and then Mike Matthews jumps in the portal after that? There is layers to it. There's a reason Josh Heupel gets paid what he gets paid. But the bottom line is those are 2 of the top receivers that we were looking at. So where does Tennessee go from here? Well, there's one more target that I briefly mentioned. According to Austin Price, this is probably the next guy on the radar. McNeese State wide receiver Jer'Michael Carter. Pete Nakos puts out the update. Visited Oklahoma yesterday. Scheduled to be at Vanderbilt today and Tennessee on Sunday. 37 catches for 537 yards and 3 touchdowns in 2024. So that's the guy to keep an eye on. Again, 3-star prospect in the portals, got 2 years of eligibility remaining. Tennessee offered on Wednesday. He's also got offers from Utah, Vanderbilt, Baylor, Colorado State, Connecticut, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Virginia Tech. So we'll see. Again, scheduled to be on campus this weekend. Keep your eye on him. That is the next target. Man, this is a huge portal update. We got a lot to talk about. Got a couple more guys, including a new target that we have not yet mentioned. I want to talk about him and also talk about a couple of the defensive linemen. Before we do that, you guys know the deal. I need you to help me out. I need a favor from you. Let's take 2 seconds and hit the thumbs up below the video. It helps the channel, and I would appreciate it. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're exactly what you guys are. For the fans, by the fans. If you like it, subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live, when we drop a video. Going to be live tonight, Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, you'll see the thumbnail. We're going to play EA Sports College Football. We play video games. We have fun. We tell jokes. But we also talk all things Tennessee football. So come hang out tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, if you like the channel, you like the content, you want more of it, hit that join button. It's right down there below, right beside subscribe. It says join. You can do that for $1 a month. You get a power tee beside your name, custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, access to fan call-in shows. Going to be doing some members-only streams. Only the members get access, but more importantly, you're supporting the channel. So take 2 seconds to do that. If you're on an iPhone, there's a link in the description to do it as well. Let's talk about a new target, a guy that we've not talked about before. We can go back to Twitter. New USF standout corner Brent Austin has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Total 48 tackles and 2 interceptions last season. Now, this is something that Austin Price put on the general's quarters and said, hey, this is a name to keep an eye on. What does that mean? I don't see any news. I don't see any visits. I don't see any schools. I don't see anything trending. But I do know that Josh Heupel and Alex Golesh still have a pretty good relationship. Is this a little behind-the-scenes deal? He's looking to go play in the SEC. Alex Golesh said, I know a guy that could use you, and he ultimately just comes straight to Tennessee. 5'11", 174-pound corner from USF, unranked coming out of high school. But then he committed to James Madison, spent 2 seasons there before transferring to South Florida. Started all 13 games last year, recorded 48 tackles, 2 interceptions. This is what I like. This is the stat that I like. 10 pass breakups. Not a pass defended. A pass defended means you're in the area. It could be an overthrow. It could be a drop, but you're in the area. A pass breakup means you made a play on the football, and I like that from Brent Austin. So, again, no news, no rumors, no teams, but Austin Price says it's a name to watch, so keep an eye on Brent Austin. Does that make you a little nervous? Of course, I think we need to add a corner regardless. I know a lot of people, when you see a corner, you think, well, Jer'Michael McCoy's not going to be ready. I don't know when he's going to bounce back, but I think we still need, even if Jer'Michael McCoy was healthy, I still think we could use a 4th corner in that 2 deep. Let's jump over. Let's talk about the defensive line. A couple of guys that I've talked about before, but just a quick update. One of those being Indiana transfer defensive lineman Marcus Burus. 6'5", 286-pound redshirt senior. He was in town yesterday. It was a quick visit, business trip. That's what I love about these portal guys. 4-star coming out of high school, now listed as a 3-star in the portal. Spent 2 seasons at Texas A&M, limited action there, transferred to Indiana for the 2023 season. In 2 years there, he's played in 25 games, has 11 starts, 34 tackles, 4.5 TFLs, 2 sacks. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining. A couple of quotes coming off the visit that he gave to On3. First, how they would use him on defense. Said they told me it would be a rotational thing. They don't have a defined starter yet, which is something I could always come in and work for, so it's nothing set in stone. Said I didn't make no promises. I just know it's definitely an opportunity here. That was my biggest thing going into the portal, looking for an opportunity. He goes on to talk about Coach G. Said Coach G, first of all, is the best defensive line coach there is out there. His resume speaks for itself. I know they're looking forward to adding another defensive tackle to their rotation. I know what kind of rotating they do here, and it's going to take more than 2 guys for sure. I know they already got some guys here. So I don't know, man. Hopefully I might end up being the next guy and being able to contribute to this team. Goes on to say, I feel like I can be a versatile piece to any defense. Like I can be that guy who can play on the inside, outside, D-end, or tackle. And, this is my last rodeo, so it's time to give my everything and really leave it all on the field. So, again, he visited Tennessee yesterday, scheduled to visit Connecticut as well. When I read that, and I'm reading between the lines here, man, it sounds like he loves himself some Tennessee. It sounds like he loves himself some Coach G, and he sees an opportunity. But where is he at? Where is he at on the board, right? And that's going back to the wide receivers. You see a guy commit to Louisville. Is he calling Tennessee on the phone and saying, hey, I've got an offer from Louisville that I like, but where am I at on your board? Where am I at on your priority list? And if Tennessee's honest and says, well, you're further down the line, then boom, he pulls the trigger, and now Tennessee fans meltdown. We melt down and freak out. So is Marcus Burus, is he at the top of the list? According to Austin Price, the guy that Tennessee likes the most when it comes to their film is Grand Valley State defensive lineman Josh Shell, another guy that is scheduled to be here. He's 6'5", 285, 2 years of eligibility left. Supposed to be here last night. He was supposed to arrive last night. The visit is going to carry over into today. Already took a trip to UCF earlier in the week. 35 tackles, 3 TFLs, 2 sacks, 5 passes defended, and a forced fumble last season for Grand Valley State. But again, according to Austin Price, this is the guy that is at the top of the list for the defensive line. So is this a complete transfer portal meltdown? Are you guys in panic mode, or are you in just chill, wait, and see? Let's see what this roster looks like after we get through the next couple of weeks. Let's see what comes out of summer workouts. Let's see what fall camp looks like, and let's put the ball down and let's go play. What are your thoughts? Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. I would go greatly appreciate it. You can go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is in the description below. Hope you guys will come hang out tonight, live 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Going to be a good time talking Tennessee football, but that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.